Hello everyone, the situation is tense. Okay, was tense. Anyhow, every roguelike dungeon has an Enderman spawner on the 3rd level, and I was so frustrated that I could not find it last time, so I decided to come and find it, and, well, I found it. The problem is that I'm not wearing any armor, so this was a problem. I found it using a rift from Thaumcraft. It basically makes a hole into the wall, and it's like a portal, and you can walk through, and occasionally you can also see what's hiding behind the wall. So this is how I found it. I'll gather some ender pearls, I get the spawner, and I will meet you back at the base. Welcome back everyone to the 3rd episode of our modded series, and now that I'm safe and sound, I can explain to you what is the plan for this episode. Well, now I want to work on our infrastructure a little bit more, because I don't have any blocks, I don't have ores, I have literally nothing. I'm broke and poor. So, we need a mob farm and we need the basic blocks of the game. So, in order to do that, there is a machine from Industrial Foregoing called the Stoneworks factory. It will give you everything: stone, sand, glass, silicon, gravel, basically anything that you're going to need, and also quadruple cobblestone. Okay, that's good. The problem is that in order to make that, you're going to need a pink slime, and in order to get the pink slime, you are going to gather it from a mob slaughter factory. So I need to spawn mobs, and I believe I'm going to need a soul binder in order to make some powered spawners. So we need to get deeper into Enderio. I'll gather the resources and I will bring you back. I need brown dye, and there are no cocoa beans in this forest, so will you give me brown dye? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Biomes O'Plenty. And one soul binder. Now what I have to do is to make the spawner, and I'm low on grains of infinity, so I have to go back to the bedrock. After the recent update, whatever you do in Enderio, you get an achievement, and I believe I deserve them because some of them are so complicated. Just to make brown dye, I mean, come on. I still can't believe that you have to do so much crafting for a stupid little alloy smelter. I mean, why? Because this was supposed to be early game. You needed cobblestone and iron, and this was your early ore dabbling. You used a sag mill, a sterling generator, and an alloy smelter, and you were good to go. Now it's like, have auto-crafting, then we will allow you to cook your beef. I think I nagged enough for today, so I'm going to make a zombie spawner because I'm going to use soul shards in order to spawn zombies for free, and then we are going to use them in order to produce mob essence to spawn other mobs. In order to get into soul shards, you're going to need this pattern on the ground, and you need to right click it with a diamond, and then you will have a soul shard. So what I'm going to do is to put a spawner inside and spawn zombies. Then if I kill those zombies with my vile swords, I will gather their souls, and when it reaches, I don't know, around 1000 souls, I will have 2 full soul shards of tier 5, and we give it power. And when I have a tier 5 soul shards, it's at maximum speed, it will spawn 5 mobs, and it will be lovely. And I can also control it with redstone, and I do not have to be nearby, and oh my god, a baby. Really? Oh, the first one is a baby. Awesome. So this is going to be messy. I will fill in the soul shards, and I will bring you back. And I believe they should be on your hotbar, not in my inventory. Well, that took a very long time, but I have 2 tier 5 soul shards, and it didn't go very well, because I did not have the soul stealer enchant of tier 5, I only found 1 tier 3 in a dungeon chest, so it was very slow and painful. But we're done. If you remember from 1.7, there was a rod in Thaumcraft called the Rod of the Equal Trade, and it would allow you to swap blocks easily, and it was very useful when mining obsidian because, well, it would have been much easier. You would put cobblestone in your inventory and switch it with obsidian, and you would have tons of obsidian in your inventory. Anyhow, we still have this in 1.12, and it does 1 block at a time because I'm using the basic focus, but it's okay, and I can live with that until we get into Botania and make the Rod of the Shifting Crust. Alright guys, the mob juice farm is almost ready, and we just have to fill in the soul cages with soul shards and then we can spawn zombies. I'm not keeping everything, I'm keeping some brains and hearts and heads. The rest of them are being voided, and I also get the mob essence into the drum. I also have redstone control because we have a tier 5 soul shard. And if I fill this thing in, like so, and like so, and I have to get out of here before something bad happens to me. So I can demonstrate it for you. It does work, right? So if I flick the lever, we should get zombies. Yes, and they get killed instantly, and we will get a lot of mob essence so that we can spawn other mobs. That is very good. Very good. So is there any backlog? It's not fast enough. I have to get some speed upgrades for the item conduits, and then we're good to go. I also brought some dark glass from extra utilities too, and this will not allow sunlight to enter the killing chamber, so zombies will not burn to death, and we can just cover it. The decorations I will do later on, but this is just the basics, and as long as it functions, I'm happy. So you are working. I also need to add the speed upgrades, and we're done. Yeah, it's keeping up and it's lovely. That is a terrible noise when they're dying. Enjoy it a little bit. No, I'm joking. I just want one drum of mob essence so that I can spawn other mobs and get into pink slime. So I'll be right back. One mob duplicator, mob essence, one mob slaughter factory, and we need to put a range upgrade. One cute little pig. Well, I had a change of heart, and instead of pigs we are going to use pigmen because they look disgusting and they make an awesome sound when they're dying. Anyhow, we're getting liquid meat and pink slime. We just have to put them into different containers, and when we have one bucket of pink slime we can spawn a pink slime. You just put it on the ground and wait. I don't know how much we have to bait, but I think it's just a few seconds, and I'm not sure if I should put it like that or in a hole. Will you work? Or oh yeah, it does work. Okay, cool. So we have one, and we can copy him to get more pink slime. Like so. Ooh, a big one. I was expecting something slightly smaller. This is going to be a little bit messy, but you get the idea. You just have to farm them to get pink slimes. Well, my sword ran out and I cannot turn off the spawner because I cannot get to the spawner. So this is going to take a long time, but on a positive note, I don't have to farm for slime balls in a very long time. Alright guys, I also decided to upgrade our power because we're not producing enough, and I had a power shortage and it got me scared. This lag is also due to the tree farm. Whenever we have a giant oak tree, it gives me a little bit of lag. Anyhow, this is the tier 6 and it requires 4 of the tier 5, but it will give you double the power because it gives you 2 solar panels. And where's the other one? Ah, okay, lag. It's fine. And I also died because I decided to spawn blazes in order to upgrade our solar panels. And the funny part is that I forgot that they fly. So they burned down the fence and they killed me. I was running away like a chicken. I also made the Stoneworks factory. I also made an igneous extruder. We have a lava factory which produces lava. The igneous extruder makes us obsidian using that lava. We have 6 Stoneworks factories for stone, cobblestone, gravel, sand, silicon and glass. Everything goes into the drawer. The drawers are here because I forgot to lock them. So we just use tape and then we deliver them to the drawer controller. And then we can also hook it up to our applied Energistics system. Everything is also automated by Xnet, so we're good to go. This project is also complete and we just have to hook it up to our ME system and we're good to go. The problem is that I don't have a storage bus to connect it, so we will do it later on. I also want to get into autocrafting with applied Energistics today, not very complicated versions, just a simple one because I don't have enough resources anyway. I also specifically don't have any iron because I wanted to make one compass for Thaumcraft research and I accidentally made 64 compasses. Compasses? Compi? Is it like cactuses, which is cacti, so compasses should be compi? I don't know. The thing which shows you the direction in plural form. You get the idea. I'll do some caving and I will bring you back. If I understand correctly, this machine is capable of making a quadruple compressed cobblestone, and if I use a Rftools crafter, I can make a sextuple compressed cobblestone, which has a value of 500,000 EMC. Should I do that? Of course I shouldn't do that, because it's a stupid idea. Here are 20 stonework factories making quadruple compressed cobblestone at a very slow rate. Only the top one there has speed upgrades because I don't have gold left and I cannot make the upgrades from Tesla. This is the only one which is fully upgraded, and that is even slow. So I just wasted a ton of resources on nothing, on 4 quadruple compressed cobblestone. It's like 24 gold ingots. Instead of trying to cheat the system with EMC, I decided to be a good boy and go mining, but unfortunately I have hunger, and when I eat, this happens. I actually have massive amount of warp because I ate 50 zombie brains to see what will happen if my warp is at maximum and I'm completely insane. The answer to that is that you're stupid if you do that. So don't do it, because every 5 minutes I get a negative effect and I don't have access to the bath salts or the soap, so this is going to stay for a while. Applied Energistics requires a lot of cables, and in order to make cables, the smart versions, you're going to need a lot of wool, and to get wool you need sheep. This is why it actually made sense to make a mob essence farm, because now we can spawn whatever we want and farm them manually. You can also automate it, but I don't have resources, so manual it is. In between cutscenes I also made this small contraption because it will automatically make processors for me. I just have to provide it with resources. And now we have enough processors to get started with autocrafting. So let's get started. Alright guys, let's start with the basics. This is an ME controller and it has 6 sides, because it's a cube, stating the obvious. Each side will give you 32 channels, so you can theoretically put a dense cable and extract those 32 channels and manage your devices. If you don't want the cables to get connected to each other and lose channels, you can put cable anchors, and this way you can divide them and you will not lose any channels. The problem is that when you do it this way, you can only use a small ME controller. If you want to go for the multi-block structure, which is much bigger, it will get confusing very soon. The way to do that is to use P2P tunnels. P2P tunnels are very simple. They look complicated in the beginning, but it's actually not that bad. First of all, you're going to need a cable to connect those P2P tunnels to the ME controller. Then you will put P2P tunnels on the ME controller and you will hook it up to that cable. So now we have 3 P2P tunnels and we have access to 96 different channels on 3 sides. So if I use a normal cable here and put a P2P tunnel and use my memory card on it, I can set it up to, for instance, this one, and now this P2P tunnel will have 32 fresh channels. This is an efficient way of doing that because you don't need that much cabling and you will save a lot on dense cables. And P2P tunnels also have different variants. We're not going to use all of them, probably some of them, but in the near future, not today. You can also transfer redstone or light or fluids on P2P tunnels without getting into your ME system, which is something that we might do later on. Based on the explanation that I just gave you, this is the design that I'm going to go with. It's a 3x3x3 ME controller and we will have 1536 channels available to us, which I think will be enough. You can go bigger and make a 7x7x7 ME controller, but that's, I believe, a waste of resources because you're never going to use 3000 channels. Alright guys, that was in theory, this is in action. I ran out of P2P tunnels, so for now, that's it. There is an energy acceptor down there with a quantum entangler porter beneath it, so it's providing our ME controller with power. It's not connected to our main ME system right now, but then I will hook it up. We have a room here which I'm going to put the molecular assemblers and the CPUs here. We don't have enough space for the machines and equipment, but I was planning to put them here. Well, if not, I can make another room, it's not a problem. Well, I made the CPUs, I made core processors, I also made some crafting monitors so that we will know what our CPUs are doing. We also have molecular assemblers and interfaces. There is also one dense cable which is going to control all of our devices. It will run through the entire base. And I also divided the CPUs from the main cable so that we will not use more than 8 channels on the small cables. And now we just have to hook it up. I'm using 4K CPUs because I did not have enough material to make the 64k. I'm not sure if I said that. So I hear an endermite. Ha. Oh, you're there. Okay, cool. Thank you for not waiting down there in a weird position, and you don't drop anything. Okay, so these have power, cables are okay, and we have the sufficient number of channels, 18 channels for 18 devices. Good. I did not screw anything up and it's working fine. The problem is I ran out of resources, so we cannot continue with autocrafting anymore. I have to mirror this design on the other side of the wall, but that's when I gather enough resources. While we are waiting for our resources to be replenished so that we can resume work on our applied Energistics system, there is another project which is equally important, and that is a second mob farm using liquid death. In order to make a liquid death bucket, we are going to need a bunch of essentials, and I believe that we can find those essentials in creeper head and a brewing stand. Unfortunately, I do not have enough creeper heads, but I do have a creeper spawner, so I can make a powered spawner from Ender.io and spawn creepers and farm their heads, which is a genius idea and slightly dangerous. But it's okay, it's better than farming them manually. Also, the reason that I want a second mob farm using liquid death is very simple, because the first mob farm that we made earlier in this episode only provides us with mob essence from industrial foregoing. We do not get any drops for that, and that was the only purpose we made that farm. I want some mob drops, so I need a second mob farm anyway. And also the bonus thing about liquid death is that depending on which mobs you dissolve in it, you will get different types of V crystals. So it's also useful for our Thaumcraft research and advancements in Thaumcraft in general. We will get a lot of V crystals and a lot of essentials. And a grinder from Draconic Evolution. I bet you were thinking that I'm stupid enough to walk inside the ring with those creepers and I'm going to kill them manually. To be honest with you, that was the plan, and then I remembered, oh, they explode. So I brought a grinder from Draconic Evolution and we just give this thing power. Maybe the capacitor first. I always forget about the capacitor because I don't think you needed them in the past. So we give this thing power, we give you power, and we run away. Do you spawn creepers? Yes. Okay, cool. Let's go and check. Okay, I just have to think about something to do with the XP because I might let this run for a while. I don't want it to cause lag. Well, in any case, I also brought an item collector from Cyclic, and this will collect all the items, and it's the other way. This item is actually very amazing because it has a range of 19 by 19 by 4 and it covers literally everything. I think 17 by 17 will be enough anyway because how big is the farm? Yeah, it covers everything and we should be getting everything. Why you no work? Ah, redstone. Okay. Oh, we already have a creeper head. Perfect. Normally, when something is not recorded, you should not talk about it, but just FYI, I fell in the ring and one of the creepers exploded and it didn't go well. I didn't die, but you know, I ruined most of the stuff. So, we have one bucket of liquid death and we have a lot of essentials. That's so much. Luckily I have enough quartz levers. Oh, more. Okay. I'll clean up this mess and I will bring you back. Alright guys, I made a small testing area and we're going to dissolve some passive mobs in liquid death and see which type of V crystals we're going to get. I have pig, I have chicken, I have villager, and I have squid and cow. So let's start with the chicken and see what he gives us. Very satisfying. Volatus, well, I don't know, something. What will you provide me? Bestia and Terra. Okay. Okay, so that's 3 different things. That's nice. Next one is the pig. And Bestia and Terra. Okay. Interesting. Cow. Same again. Okay, so between a cow and a sheep and I don't know, a pig, it doesn't really make much difference. And the squid is literally nothing. You, my dear villager, you should give me something interesting because you should be different from a squid at least. Ah, humanus. Okay, so villagers are going in liquid death anyway. Maybe chicken as well? The reason for that test was to determine what kind of spawners I have to make, and spawners are expensive, so it's better to determine beforehand. I have to do the same experiment for hostile mobs, and I will do that off camera. Anyway, it's time to wrap up the episode before it gets super long. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next episode. Bye bye.